Brian. Thanks to Brian for coming out tonight. This was awesome. Good to see you. Appreciate the knowledge. I would like to go to Kendrick Lamar with Tanner though on 419.
Here in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh. We got to talk about this.
I think if we could raise enough money, we could buy ourselves Kendrick Lamar tickets, right?
The podcast definitely needs to send all three of us to go document it.
For journalistic purposes.
Yeah.
For Pendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Cultural.
Or Kendrick.
He says
Kendrick.
they not like us, but we need to find out. Are they like us?
We need to fuck around and find out.
Are they like us?
Are they like us? The whole gang's going, let's bring Aaron,
Yeah.
Broccoli,
I want to wear the black house like they had at the Grammys.
head of the house.
Jade. What's his?
Yeah. Jaden Pinkett Smith. Yeah.
If okay, let's play a game called If We Were at the Grammys, Who Would We Be? And he just named his. I'm going to say you're Bianca Censor.
Why? Because I like to just bear my heart out everywhere and
Yeah.
Steve, are you the Taylor Swift drunk and dancing to other people's music?
Everybody. Yeah.
Champagne in the air.
Champagne in the air. Not a care in the world.
I like Pimm's. Pimm's is good. I don't like champagne. I mean, I it's champagne.
Are there going to be tariffs on Pimm's?
Pimm's. No, from London.
Oh, okay. Welcome back. And our favorite part of the show, the end part, the high note, if you will, where we get to end out our week with something positive, something wonderful that we saw from the week, something that stuck out in our mind, something funny, something, I don't know. Last week I railed against the housing market, so we're going to keep it positive this week.
Yeah.
Who wants to go
But
first?
he let it go. 31st.
Steve.
He emptied the clip on the 31st.
Yep, we're out.
That's what we do.
Happy February.
If you want to sponsor a product on our show, though, you can definitely hit us up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, Jordan, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I have recently re-fallen in love with sketching and drawing.
Ooh,
and
okay.
Like just using mostly colored pencils, charcoal stuff to like just do whatever I want. And that was something I did a lot of when I was a kid. Most kids have like books or Nintendo DSs or whatever next to their bed falling asleep. I had just many different size pads of paper and pencils and
Yeah.
but I hadn't really like done it for more than an hour here and there for the past like 15 years. And then over the last like 3 weeks, I've probably put like 30 hours into one drawing.
Nice,
man.
Like I guess maybe call it a hyperfixation or maybe like a reintroduction to something I forgot I fell in love with. But my high note is just kind of like falling back into the tranquility of just like doing art for art's sake. Cause like a lot of my job is like, I've turned my actual artistic passion into a job, which like is a lovely thing to say, but
and the viewers say thank you.
I'm here for them.
Producer whiff.
But like, so it's been a long time since I've just kind of stepped back from like my own creative process and just emptied out creativity onto.
I love the infatuation and like the ability to make it back to something that you enjoyed previously.
Yeah. It's been really fun.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that creativity continue to evolve and hopefully play out.
Like also with the evolving, I like I said, I've been working on this one drawing for like 30 plus hours, but I also like just whipped up the iPad and I was like drawing apps because that's something I've never done digital art. I've always been a tactile with actual, mediums. And so like that's opened up a whole world of opportunities, like doing the iPad, like you get different. It's just like obviously easy. It eases the process. I think it makes the process be a little more streamlined, and obviously you can do it wherever. You don't need to have your drawing table and all your pencils spread out everywhere. You can just
Where are you set up?
I actually edit this podcast at the same coffee table in my basement that I just kind of like move my keyboard out of the way and then bring my drawing and pencils over. And so actually sometimes when I'm exporting, actually I think that's how I've put so much time into these drawings is like when the project file's rendering or exporting or saving or something that takes like passive time but not enough time to like do something else. I'll just pull out the drawing that's there, have the 6-7 pencils that I've been working with, and
I love that.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thanks, guys. Back at you. I do it for the love of the game.
Well, and I'm excited for people to see your art on a segment coming next month.
no.
Get a whiff of this, where Jordan and Marcus smell terps and then talk about art. So coming soon to Northern Lights Podcast.
Tuesdays, Friday afternoons.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like this is one that should drop like like Thursday morning at like 4 a.m.
If
for people that are up that late.
if March 14th is a Thursday.
Yeah, there we go. Get a whiff of this. All right, I like that one. Congrats to enjoying the art.
Thank you. It's
Smelling
been
the
nice.
roses.
What about you, Tanner?
So I brought in an article that I found from this week that I just thought was so good. We know professional sports players, athletes, as they're called, I believe technically, consume cannabis. Like that's been
We do.
widely talked about for a while. But for a long time, it wasn't allowed by many leagues, many
Associations.
many divisions, sport words, things like that. They would say this could potentially impact your performance, and we don't want that being potentially impacted. And so things have sort of changed, at least a little bit. You have some leagues opening their mind up a little bit. I believe the NBA is pretty open-minded now to players consuming cannabis. But one of the leagues that is most open-minded to it
Yeah.
is the NHL.
Yeah.
And
Really?
the NHL did a survey of their players where they, the New York Times conducted a survey. More than 36 NHL players across a variety of different teams.
Yeah.
And 38% of those reported being cannabis consumers.
Sure.
Which, if you think about the sample size, is actually a lot of. Like,
Yeah.
You said there's 36 dudes that responded
Yeah,
to this.
36 NHL players
So,
looked
like,
at the survey and went, do I eat edibles? Do I consume cannabis?
So like I'm not good at math, but I can carry a 2 here and there, and like that's actually a fairly large chunk of a pretty small sample size. Like, so
It's more like yeah.
Yeah, the survey found that the parties that these players are throwing have just really changed in vibe and energy. They used to be alcohol and like crazy parties, and they've turned now much more into consuming cannabis and playing video games, which I love. I think that's great.
A good example is Brett Hull,
Yeah.
former star, owns a cannabis company.
Wow. Do you think they get high and then play like NHL games that they're in like as themselves and just get like really stoned and be like, that's me.
I would.
I would too.
Yeah, you have to think about them as normal young people from Europe and North America, and they are just like us in some ways.
Just like us. The other thing I almost brought in was there was a study by Golf Digest that showed that golf players are better on 18 milligrams of THC, but the NHL one felt more fun. But
You got to have ratios.
yeah, gotta have the ratios. I don't play golf if I don't have CBC. All right,
That's it for me.
All right, so we've got the high note of art. We've got the high note of NHL players opting to get stoned when they're not playing puck.
Arts, athletics. What do you got, Steve?
I don't, where should I go with this? I get high and I don't think about things.
I could ask you a question.
Yeah, ask me a question.
All right, are you more of a porcupine or a rain cloud? If you had to think of yourself as one of those two things, which one do you more associate with and why?
That's an interesting question that I'm unaware of porcupine clouds. So I'm by nature, then I associate more with rain clouds.
Okay. All right, there we go. So
Now, the Como Zoo got brought up earlier, and
it did.
and I'm well aware now of the amusement park, the orchid show,
Oh yeah,
the short walk around the lake.
it's a nice area down there. That's for sure. Yeah, it's fun being able to go down there, see a bunch of animals, and not have to pay money to do it, and not have to enter a formal zoo per se, but just to like look over and be like, there's a tiger next to that walk area.
I saw a giraffe.
Yeah.
I love heading to the conservatory during
Yeah.
like especially like weeks like we've had where they've been floating between 10 under and 10 above, and it's like, give me some thick, wet air. Let me rip a big dab before heading into these plants.
Can you imagine if it was on a moving sidewalk?
You just get to stand and be brought around.
That'd be pretty cool. Like a monorail that brings you around. Like look out and We should get into the monorail business. I feel like we propose a new one sort of every episode.
Our conversation funnel usually gravitates towards monorails.
It all comes from the I want to see things while also sitting and getting high.
Hyperloops.
Yeah, that one.
I'm happy. I've been over in the Como area. Yeah, I'm treating it now as my new bidet Makaska.
Okay, for sure.
And trying to spend more time over there. And I think this winter is interesting because it's feeling more and more like a true winter.
Yeah, definitely.
We missed Groundhog's
long
Day.
cold.
I didn't see it in the notes, but they're saying 6 more weeks.
Yeah.
Punxsutawney Phil, you've been so preoccupied with the mice.
Yeah, it's true. At the moment that I heard that there was going to be another rodent, I was like, whoa. I don't know if I'm here for that. Stay in your hole, man.
That's right. So,
yeah.
So here we are, 6 more weeks. We've got Lucky Leaf coming up.
Yeah, we do. Forward to that.
I wasn't going to initially reach out, and after I saw last year was at the Poorhouse, I thought we could do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Kova on board, I got Canatrolls on board, and we're moving over to Modest Brewing.
Cool. Very fun.
February 28th at the Teal Room, which is
Okay.
a private event space. And
Hey, I've been there a couple times.
And it's a great space, if you want to get a Lucky Leaf ticket, you can get it 25% off. Just use code CannaConnect.
How much living soil do you think is still in Modest?
And can we bring more?
Oh, we will. And Andy, if you're listening, just you wait. All right, guys. Well, that was a great episode. Another fun one. We had the news, we had the game, we had an awesome interview, and we had sporadic high notes. Here's a question for everyone listening, watching at home. What kitchen utensil do you most relate to? Drop it in the comments below. Are you a spatula? Are you more of a utility tool? What is it that you would do? We want to know. Drop it in the comments below. We've also got those hot takes that we're still looking for. We'll put that link in the show notes. Submit your hot takes. We're going to do some hot dabs. We're going to have to explain some bad stuff. Guys, I took a peek at there and, just you wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Last week to submit your comments to the OCM.
Yeah, definitely make sure to get those in. We've talked about it a lot. If you don't know how to do it, check out last week's episode. If you don't know why, check out the weeks before episode. If you don't know what we're talking about, check out the weeks before that episode. Go submit your rules. Last opportunity to make an impact because these rules are going to impact us a lot. All right, that was a good one.
Yeah, thanks to Union Bank and Trust and North Star Cannabis Consulting. We appreciate the love. Shout out to the Dabbler Depot.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who watches. Thanks to everyone who shares with a friend. Thanks for following us on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. All the social medias, give us a follow. Thanks to the Dabbler Depot for hosting us as always. Make sure to share this podcast with a friend, a family member, an acquaintance, a coworker. If you've ever bumped into someone randomly on the street, we're Minnesotans, we go, oh. But instead you could say, oh, I'm so sorry. You should check out Northern Lights podcast because they'll probably enjoy it. But that's all we got for this week. So we'll catch you in your feeds next Tuesday in Tanner's Trip Tasting on Friday. See you on Tuesday, everyone.
Peace.
Northern Lights is a Minnesota Cannabis College production. This episode was produced by me, Tanner Barris, and by Steve Eigenman and Jordan Witt. Production assistance from Marcus Harkis, Shayna Payton, and John Barty. Video and audio recording at the Dabbler Depot studio by Jordan Witt. The information provided in this podcast does not, and is not intended to, constitute legal advice, but is instead for general information purposes only. No listener should act solely on the basis of information provided without first seeking advice from their own legal counsel. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Minnesota Cannabis College. Please listen responsibly.
Thank you.